This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Millions more Americans are out of work, including thousands of Hoosiers filing new claims for unemployment. Coming up, we'll break down the latest numbers as the state and country slowly try to rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic. But first, it is a Storm Team 6 alert day, and we want to welcome you into the news at noon. I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen standing by from home at this hour. Todd, it looks like an active radar behind you. What do people need to know if they're heading out the door at this lunch hour?
Yeah, you know, it's quiet right now here in central Indiana. That's the good news. But you're right, Lauren. Just off to our west, it's a very active Storm Team 6 radar with a line of showers and thunderstorms that has set up across parts of Illinois. They've already had some thunderstorm warnings, and this line is heading our way. We still have a little while of dry weather here ahead of us to enjoy some hazy sunshine that has broken out across parts of the area. And with that sunshine, temperatures have really warmed very quickly here this morning. But this line of storms, they'll start to weaken and slide to the north as it arrives. But look at these temperatures. 72 right now in Indy, 75 almost in Bloomington as well as Terre Haute. A little cooler off to the east. That's still some rain cooled air from the morning rain. But as we go forward throughout the afternoon hours, this line of broken storms will make its way into the area as it comes in. There's the potential there could be a few strong to severe storms. Much of the northern half of the state is still under the slight risk for severe weather. The main threat as these storms come in will be the potential for damaging wind. The secondary threat will be the potential, Lauren, for some hail. We'll talk more about the timing of these storms and look ahead to the rest of your forecast for today and into the weekend coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, the good news is that for the first time, claims for unemployment in Indiana are trending downward. The not so good news, though, the number of those claims is still about 15 times higher than normal. Today, the Labor Department announcing that more than 30,000 Hoosiers filed for unemployment benefits last week. The department also revised the previous week's numbers down slightly to just over 42,000. Still, in the 8 weeks since businesses started cutting back, more than 650,000 Hoosiers have filed for unemployment. Across the country, the number of Americans out of work also continues to rise. ABC's Zachary Keish tells us the lost jobs come as battles are being fought in several states over the reopening of businesses.
With the number of confirmed deaths linked to coronavirus creeping towards 85,000 nationwide, there is growing dissent about how the country should open. This was the scene last night in Wisconsin, where the state Supreme Court overturned the governor's extended stay-at-home orders, calling the restrictions unconstitutional and unenforceable. The ruling doesn't take effect until May 20th, but within hours, some bars and restaurants were reopened with no restrictions. In Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer has been the target of attacks from President Trump and protest over stay-at-home orders. Today, demonstrators taking to the streets in Lansing.
If people are going to come down and demonstrate, do it in a responsible way.
Days ago, the nation's leading expert on infectious disease, Dr. Anthony Fauci, expressed concerns over reopening too quickly. The president telling reporters he was surprised by Fauci's comments.
I was surprised by his answer, actually, because, it's just, to me, it's not an acceptable answer, especially when it comes to schools. Oh, I think they should open the schools, absolutely. I think they should. I don't consider our country coming back if the schools are closed.
Los Angeles County beaches are starting to reopen with restrictions, but officials say schools in the state will open on a case-by-case basis.
I want to be clear that we are not anticipating a common opening across school districts or a mandate for when school districts open.
However, Timothy White, Chancellor of California State Schools, the nation's largest public university system, announced in-person classes will not return to campus in the fall. More than 500,000 Cal State students will take courses online.
Our decisions really are in the best interest of our students because we wanted them to make progress to degree in this COVID-19 era, which sadly is going to persist throughout this next academic year. So we're preparing essentially for the worst and then hoping for the best.
Part of the pressure to reopen is related to the economy. More than 3 million more Americans filed unemployment claims last week. More than 36 million Americans have lost jobs due to the pandemic, creating the highest unemployment rate since the Great Depression. Zachary Keish, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home in Indiana, the number of deaths from COVID-19 has surpassed the 1,500 mark, but the number of new deaths continues to slowly trend downward. Today, the state health department reported 26 new deaths from the coronavirus. The department also added one new probable death. The trend for new positive tests is still holding steady, however, with 634 new cases reported by the health department today. Walmart is opening new drive-through COVID-19 testing sites at some of its stores. Its sites allow anyone who meets CDC and state and local guidelines to be tested. That includes first responders, healthcare providers, and anyone who has any symptoms of COVID-19. The testing sites will be open Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Starting tomorrow, you do need to make an appointment online. 5 Walmart stores in central Indiana have this drive-through testing site. You can find a list of those and find out how to make your appointment at our website, theindychannel.com. Barbershops in Indy have to trim back their plans to reopen yet again. Up next, we'll hear from a West Side master barber who's hoping his business doesn't fade away before he can see his customers again. Todd.
And Lauren, we're tracking a line of storms off to our west that has already prompted severe thunderstorm warnings across parts of Illinois. It's heading in our direction. I'll let you know when in the timeline coming up when the news at noon continues right here on RTV6.
Pace of Homes every Sunday morning at 11:30.
Welcome back. Some businesses here in Marion County will be allowed to reopen tomorrow, but hair salons and barbershops will not be among them. One on the west side is a barber there is still not happy, and he still doesn't know when his business will be able to rebound. And Brian Lomax also says he isn't sure how much longer he can hold out. He told RTV6 he did not qualify for unemployment and that his application for a small business loan was turned down by the federal government. Lomax said he has protective gear and other safeguards already in place, and so he doesn't understand why other businesses get the go-ahead before him.
I was totally shocked because of the inconsistency. We were first told April the 20th. Then we were told May 1st. Then we were told May 11th. Then we were told May 15th. And then today when we got the news that we couldn't open until June 1st, it was a total shock. It was a huge disappointment.
Lomax says he's still considering applying for a rapid response loan at the local level. Here's what is happening. Starting tomorrow, public gatherings in Indianapolis and Marion County can increase from 10 to 25 people, including those in-person religious services. Non-essential retail businesses can open at 50% capacity. Malls can also open with restrictions on capacity and food service. But other parts of the governor's reopening plan, which many other parts of the state already have in place, those in Marion County will have to wait. Starting a week from tomorrow, May 22nd, in-person dining will be allowed, but only at restaurants with outdoor seating. Non-essential industrial and manufacturing operations will not open yet, and neither will hair, nail salons or barbershops. Gyms and other personal services will remain closed as well. A planned student protest at Hendricks County High School was interrupted by a fire drill. But up next, Call 6 Investigates is finding that internal emails are now raising questions about the nature of that fire drill. And here's a live look outside right now with our Weather Now camera. Todd Clausen is tracking a Storm Team 6 alert day, and he'll have a look at your forecast looking ahead to the weekend. That's all coming up here on the News at Noon. Stick around.
TV.com.
Welcome back. Internal emails are raising new concerns about how school leaders handled a student walkout at Tri-West High School. You may remember back in March, dozens of students protested the firing of a school attendance secretary by the Northwest Hendricks School District. Now, students and parents became suspicious when school leaders held a fire drill at the exact same time as the planned walkout. Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny filed a public records request for internal emails, and what she found is leaving students disappointed.
On March 4th, we introduced you to former Tri-West High School attendance secretary David Pyatt. He reported teacher and coach Tyler Bruce for alleged sexual misconduct with a then student.
The parents in this community, they should be gravely concerned about what's going on right now at the school and the changes that haven't been made to stop another Tyler Bruce.
Bruce is now fired. He's criminally charged with child seduction. Pyatt was fired too. The school says in part because Pyatt showed us surveillance video of Bruce and the student, the district calling it confidential student information. But still, Tri-West students felt the district punished Pyatt for speaking out, so they planned a walkout for 10:25 a.m. on March 5th. Morgan Bell and Carissa Ecker are Tri-West students and supported the protest.
It started because we were so pretty irritated about what happened with David Pyatt. We walked out because of how the school board was handling things.
To their surprise, the district held a fire drill right before they planned to walk out.
I said it's an emergency fire alarm and then made all the kids go back inside and then tried blocking all of the doors, saying none of us were allowed outside.
The superintendent emailed parents that afternoon saying this was a planned fire drill for the month as required by law, and all protocols for a drill were followed. But internal emails shed more light on what really happened. The day before the planned walkout for Pyatt, Tri-West Principal Kelly Simpson sent this email to the superintendent with the subject line, potential walkout. How about a fire drill at 9:59? If it is a nice day, going outside would be perfect. Then if Channel 6 shows up, they will see all of us in unison going outside for a fire drill. Just a thought. Kids talk, and they've made comments loud enough for teachers to hear. Going to bring a grill, play cornhole, have a real party. Superintendent Scott Syverson responded, up to you if you have a planned fire drill tomorrow. Not sure what the weather is supposed to be tomorrow. I would have a place for them to walk to, have Chuck out there, and let them quietly protest. They just need to know they are unexcused from class they miss. I cannot imagine it will be many. And another email sent to Tri-West staff the morning of March 5th by the administrative secretary read, please do not announce to the students. We will be doing a fire drill at 10:23-ish.
What do you think when you hear those emails?
It's really disappointing.
The walkout for David Pyatt still happened at 10:25, but students say it was disrupted by the fire drill.
They definitely crossed a line there, I think.
Carissa and Morgan say school leaders' emails just confirm what they already suspected.
When the fire drill happened, as soon as we walked out, we realized, oh, this was obviously an attempt to stop the protest. Everyone knew it. You should be able to look up to your principal and superintendent as like good people, you know, and like as someone who does kind of look up to the figures of our school, it's like a really sad thing to hear that they would go as far as doing something like that.
We asked the Department of Homeland Security, who told us drills are required to prepare students and staff for the proper actions in the event of an emergency. The sole intent of this requirement is to ensure the safety of students and staff for potential events.
A good reason, I guess, would be like to get kids prepared and make sure everyone's ready in case an actual fire breaks out, like so that everyone knows what to do.
Do you think that was the goal?
No. No, I don't for that one specifically.
Call 6 Investigates asked to interview school district leaders, but instead we got this statement. The walkout was not disrupted in any fashion whatsoever, and clearly the superintendent stated, give them a place to quietly protest, which we did and they did. Right now, we are focused on moving forward, dealing with the COVID pandemic and taking care of our students, parents, and staff during this incredibly challenging time. Students like Carissa and Morgan say the school could have handled things better. And even though Tri-West will likely face no formal penalty, students say school leaders damaged their relationship with students.
If our school is going to send the wrong message, then our students are going to send the right message.
Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Kara, thank you. Principal Kelly Simpson is retiring from Tri-West as of June 30th. Tyler Bruce denies the child seduction charges against him, and his trial is scheduled for July. You can watch our full story with David Pyatt about why he reported Bruce. It's all in this story on the RTV6 app and also at theindychannel.com. Taking a turn now to our forecast. You hear the beep beep there. It's a Storm Team 6 alert day, Todd, and you showed us there's some stuff on the radar to our west.
Yeah, you know, we had the round of storms through this morning. That was the initial leading edge, Lauren, of the warmer air that has now worked its way in. But that's also setting the stage for the next front to come through, and that's a round of thunderstorms off to our west that you alluded to. And you can see them on Storm Team 6 radar. They stretch from northwest Indiana through Champaign, Illinois, and then back into central Illinois. We have a couple more dry hours here across most of the area to get out and enjoy the warmth. But by about 2 o'clock, these storms will be approaching the metro area, and maybe even a little bit sooner up towards Lafayette. Now, they'll probably start to weaken a little bit and slide up to the north as they make their way into our area. But as they do come in, there's the potential a few of them could be borderline strong to severe. And you see that broken line of storms stretching from Fort Wayne through Muncie, approaching the metro area by about, this is saying 4:30 on TrueCast. I think they're moving a little quicker than the models are indicating. But nonetheless, it shows you the progression of the line of storms as it makes its way through this state. Now, the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk out for a good chunk of the northern half of Indiana. That's what you see in a yellow. The green is a marginal risk for severe weather. The difference is the yellow and the slight risk, a little better chance of some of these storms going severe. That's because they're a little closer to the actual area of low pressure. What are the threats with these storms? Well, lightning obviously makes every one of these storms dangerous, but wind, probably the biggest severe weather threat across the area, followed by the potential for some hail. A tornado threat pretty low with this system, but you can always never say never. But look at these temperatures, close to 80 already in Lafayette, 72 in Indianapolis, 74 in Sullivan. A little cooler to the east because you were the last ones to see the rain that moved through this morning, and that's still pushing off towards the east. Highs today anywhere from about 75 degrees in northern locations to 80 in Indianapolis, where you probably don't see much in the way of anything additional in the way of rainfall. Bloomington to Columbus, highs today will be anywhere from about 80 to 85 degrees. So it's a very warm day for us, and it's not a washout here this afternoon, but there will be those possible strong to severe storms moving through, so keep an eye on radar. Let's fast forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's a little better chance of more widespread showers and thunderstorms across the area. And with the additional cloud cover, it's going to be slightly cooler. And tomorrow, there's dry hours as well. It's not a complete washout. Temperatures with the added cloud cover and the rain that will be around will be in the 70-degree range to about 71 degrees across the area. And then for the weekend, we're looking at temperatures back into the mid to upper 70s. In fact, I think Saturday's a day very much like today with hazy sunshine. If you see enough sunshine, you're easily into the 80s, and the storms will be pretty spotty. They're a little more numerous again on Sunday as the front goes through. Then once that stronger cold front goes through, Lauren, on Sunday, it ushers in a pretty quiet weather pattern Monday through Wednesday, and temperatures that will be a little bit below normal on Monday, but then right back up to seasonable levels for Tuesday and Wednesday. But again, be weather aware here this afternoon. Kyle will be in throughout the afternoon hours, let you know if any warnings get issued. If we do see warnings, I'd expect it just to be 1 or 2 thunderstorm warnings across parts of the area.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Well, it used to happen to kids and sometimes your favorite celebrities all the time. But up next, we'll show you how it's now blasted off into space, all in the name of science. You're watching the news at noon on RTV6.
And Keller, right now.
Well, if you grew up watching Nickelodeon, this next story is for you. You might remember all the times people got slimed on the classic Nickelodeon show. You can't do that on television. Now that Nick Slime has actually made its way to outer space. Astronauts on board the International Space Station got to play with some slime that was sent to them by Nickelodeon. Sure, the astronauts had a little bit of fun there, but they also conducted experiments on the slime in hopes of gathering new insights on the state of liquids in zero gravity. Researchers say the slime is roughly 20,000 times more resistant to motion than water. NASA says the experiments could have wide-reaching implications on the use of liquid in future missions. So I guess it's one sticky step for man, one giant leap for slimy science. That's pretty cool, Todd.
It is pretty cool. I'm watching it here. It's definitely interesting. That's fun. All right, let's talk weather quickly here before we go. There's a line of storms off to our west that will make its way here into central Indiana during the course of the afternoon hours. A few thunderstorm warnings not out of the question. If we did see a warning or two, it would be for damaging wind. Of course, the lightning makes every thunderstorm dangerous, so do not go outside as some of these thunderstorms make their way through the area. More storms tomorrow, a little cooler at 75, and then and isolated storms on Saturday. A little more widespread again on Sunday, but none of those days are a washout, Lauren, and all those days are very, very mild.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. Join us here for the news at 5, and have a great afternoon.